Hello guys, it's your Justice analyst Kirill, and today we will finally find out who is the most probable potential winner of Eurovision 2024. So finally, after looking at all the songs, looking at all the semifinals, rehearsals, semifinal results, we are reaching this point where we can really talk about 26 entries taking part in the Eurovision final and think where they can finish. So as you can see now on your screen, when today I will go through all the songs of this final, we will determine the bottom 5 countries, 2 countries finish in 12th or 13th, 1 country which will just most probably land 1 step from the top 10, then 4 countries finishing in the lower part of the top 10, 3 countries finishing in the middle of top 10, 2 countries still not having enough to win the contest, and of course the 1 country which I see as the most probable potential winner of the Eurovision Song Contest 2024. And without further talking, let's start with our bottom 5 countries. So in accordance with my prediction, these 5 countries will be in a random order: United Kingdom, Spain, Estonia, Georgia, and Luxembourg. I think these 5 countries will not really get enough points to convince either the juries or the televoters. I think Estonia and maybe Georgia will get a couple of points from the televoting, but I think it will not be enough in order to jump out of this bottom 5 zone. So I personally really like Georgia from this list, but I think all these countries apart from Estonia brought something what is targeting much more the typical Eurovision fandom, and I think Eurovision fandom has enough other favorites in the final, so I don't think that fandom will stand behind them. I don't think that the regular voters will really pay enough attention at these 5 countries. Maybe Estonia, they would have ranked somewhat higher, but I think with the revealed running order where Estonia is in the first half, I think it's performing 9th. I don't think Estonia will have enough points to be outside of this bottom 5. And we continue with 4 countries finishing between places 19 and 22. And in accordance with my prediction, they will be Lithuania, Cyprus, Austria, and Slovenia. I think some of the songs will be more appreciated by the televoters, such as, for example, Austria or Cyprus, also Lithuania. I expect will get definitely more from the televoters than from the juries. Slovenia, on the other hand, will definitely get some points from the juries, but I think it will be really somewhere in the area of like 30-40 points max, and on the other hand I think the televoters will completely underrate her, hopefully not with 0 points. So yeah, I think just Austria will probably be somewhere closer to top 10 in accordance with the televoting results, but we have so many songs this year which are very appealing for the televoters, so that I think that Austria, even with such high placing, in total will get not too many points, so it will be not enough to be higher than these places. And now 4 countries which I think will finish kind of in the middle of the table. These countries will be Germany, Finland, Norway, and Armenia. From these 4 countries, I think the only one, Armenia, will be kind of almost equally appealing for the televoters and for the juries, but the other ones I think will be very dividing. I think Germany is for sure something what the juries will like. I really hope that his jury rehearsal performance was good vocally, so that he really gets these points. The same I think about Norway. I think they can also get something like 70-80 points from the jury, so basically being not in the bottom with their help. But when it comes to Finland, I think it's quite obvious that the juries will not stand behind this one, but I think the televoters will definitely like it. Even though the fandom is very critical towards the song, I still think for the general public it will be something very appealing. And now we continue with 2 songs which are not far from the top 10, but still, when it comes to the points, I think will be still quite far from the top 10. 1 country is Greece, so I think Greece will be rated very well by the televoters, and I think the juries will definitely not like this at all. The song is very much televoting oriented, and I think vocals of Marina are not very stable, very shaky. And the other song which I also see here just few steps from the top 10 is Serbia. I think Serbia will get quite some points from the juries, but also from the televoters, but I don't think that the points will be high enough, especially from the televoters, in order for them to be even on place 11. And speaking about place 11, why I have just 1 country standing there, I have to say, when I was doing the simulation, like how many points each of these countries will get from the juries, from the televoting, this song is actually really with a huge gap towards the place 12, but also with a huge gap towards place 10. So I thought it would be unfair to group it with any other countries, and it's Latvia. I think Latvia will do really, really well with juries. I can definitely see it coming, I don't know, place 5, 6 or something like that in accordance with the jury results, getting quite a lot of points, while I definitely see it coming somewhere outside top 20 in accordance with the televoting results. I'm still not really through the fact that Latvia has made it from the semi-final. It's still mind-blowing for me, but I don't think that the televoters will have enough love for Latvia also in the final in order to rank them top 10 in many countries. And now opening top 10 with 4 countries: Ukraine, Netherlands, Ireland and Portugal. I really think that the Netherlands and Ireland will get quite high results in accordance with the televoting, but they will be for sure ranked very, very low by the juries. I think the Netherlands will get a little bit more from the juries and a bit less from the televoting as Ireland. I think with Ireland it will be even more, 1 or 0, nothing really in between. But when it comes to Ukraine, I think it will get quite solid points from both televoting and the juries. I would have expected them to get much more from the televoting if they wouldn't perform, I think, second in the final, which is definitely the worst spot to be. And when it comes to Portugal, of course, this is the song which will be rated very high by the juries, but the televoters will probably not appreciate it as much. But we still remember even Maro with Saudade. Saudade managed to get almost 100 points from the televoters, even if she was performing right in the beginning of the show. And now this year, Yolanda has definitely a much better spot. So then I have 3 countries which just are kind of few steps from the top 3, so places 4, 5 and 6. So again, in a random order, I think these countries will be Switzerland, Italy and Sweden. I think all these 3 songs will be ranked higher by the juries than by the televote. I would expect especially big difference in case of Switzerland and Sweden. I think Switzerland is maybe not the type of a song which televoters would really go for very actively, and Sweden is just performing first, so it will not get so many points from the televoters as it will most probably get from the juries. In case of Italy, I think it will be appreciated by both, but I still expect somewhat higher points from the juries. And when we now move to our top 3, so I will start with, of course, 2 countries which are so close to winning this competition, but I think will have not enough. And these are the current 2 favorites of bookmakers, Croatia and Israel. I think these both countries will get enormous points from the televoting, and I think they will be both very much punished by the juries. I think these 2 countries will be really the top 2 of the televoters. I think they will probably not have 300 points, but something a little bit below, something like 280, 290, because this year we just have too many televoting baits. And when it comes to the jury vote, I think they will not be really super underrated. I don't expect that Croatia, finishes with 0 or 20 or 50 even points from the juries. I think Croatia will do better with the juries. I would expect something like 140, 150 points. Israel maybe 110, 100, 120, something like that. So at the end of the day, they will have quite solid amount of points, but I think one country which is left will just do better. Which means the winner of Eurovision 2024, in accordance with my prediction, will be France. I think France will win the jury vote with quite a big gap also towards Switzerland and the other songs. If we consider the examples from the past, I think we can think about Dami Im, who just came and with quite, a generic song has absolutely smashed the competition with her vocals in accordance with the jury vote. She was so far from everyone else. Then she wasn't ranked as high by the televoters, so she finished, I think, second in the end, but she was so close to winning the competition. And I think this year something similar might happen to Slimane. I think he will have quite some gap after the jury vote. And then the televoters, I don't think that they will rank him as low as Australia in 2016, at least from the fact that it's not Australia, and a lot of European countries also really like French culture, music in French, and generally France is ranked by the televoters not really so low as Australia. So at this point of time, I think France is our most probable winner. Also, the running order was really great for them. The reception of their performance in the semi-final was great. But what do you think? Do you agree with me with all these 26, or do you think that I have underrated some song or maybe overrated another? Please let me know down below in the comments, subscribe to my channel, and I can't wait to discuss with you how it turns out in the end, who will become the winner and what will be the full results. See you in the next one. Bye bye.